folks, I'm going to tell you 5 quick facts about BlackBull markets. Now, did you know, number 1, they're New Zealand FMA regulated? Number 2, did you know they have a copy trading service where you can either be a signal provider or copy signals? And number 3, did you know they've got over 26,000 tradable assets, including Forex, crypto, stocks, indices, and even more? And number 4, did you know they offer 500 to 1 leverage? And number 5, if you open up an account today and trade 1 lot a month, they're going to give you TradingView Pro for free. Check them out, BlackBull Markets.
And hello. Are you getting sound now? We're good. Fantastic. Okay. Well, good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Sorry about the no sound. My soundboard was having a little bit of an issue, and so I just had to correct that. We're doing our 400k Blue Guardian, 100k Blue Guardian challenge, and we've got our Guardian Protector over here in Guardian Protector. It's great. You have your stop loss, your amount. You have to make sure that's on every single time, and then you can disable your trading, whatever you need, and then off and away you go. Today is really, really nice because during yesterday was a public holiday. Okay. Public holiday, what does that mean? That means that there's not as much liquidity in the market coming from the Americans because they were on the holiday. And so there's lots of unresolved liquidity. On public holidays, we tend to set the highs and lows of the public holiday day. Yeah, this is like a common thing. I'll just present the chart quickly. Trading view. There we go. So as you can see, I've already set up the liquid. We're at a very interesting place right now in time where we've already taken our 630, 730 sell side liquidity. That's why there's all this thing happening. We have our 215 I'm at 259, sorry, that it's come down to from previously. Okay, so there's a 215 to 9, 259 to 915 close is over 950. The 915 close is over here, and then we have. This is not a trade, by the way. This is just an interesting. I was just seeing what was happening because liquidity was they took the sell side here. I'm waiting for my time activation zone. They're busy setting up liquidity, and then today actually might be a trade. We even got that on my chart, my broker already. Now we have our 315 over here. That's just, I haven't put that in to the chart. 359, 359, 259, sorry, right there. That is today. This is previous day, so previous week. So I'm going to remove that because we've come down and seen that Hong Kong gap already. So you can see how it's responded. It's come up, it's come down, it's come up. That's a daily open right there. And then now we're just literally waiting for trade activation. If we see the distance, this is exactly what I was talking about. The distance is long, all right? We have quite a ways to go, which is nice. We have not that much on GU, and AU is going down, but there's distance. Now, interesting thing about AU is that very soon they have the RBA minutes. Now that is almost like the Fed minutes. It's the Bank of Australia. They have their minutes. It's at 9:30. So 9:30, I'm expecting there to be one explosive candle. This is going up. It's taking liquidity. 6:30 was over here. Yep. It's going to take the high. And then I'm expecting price to come back down. So it's going to be inverse on the other chart. It's going to be the reverse. So it's going to go down, seek liquidity, and then go back up. That's my trade idea. That's what I'm working on today, and that's what I'm expecting. All right. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. How was everyone's weekend? We still got a good 10 minutes, 12 minutes before our trade time comes in. This time today, I'm going to focus. Okay, I was getting very distracted with explaining things on the chart, but when we get to the time zone, I'm going to be checking all three, because last week on Friday was actually there was a beautiful trade, but I missed it because I was focused on EU and I wasn't focused on AU. So AU was actually like perfect in a sense. So from it went down over here. Wait, when was this? This was yesterday. Friday, I went and saw that AU came back. It took liquidity and then made it break lower and then continued on for the rest of the day until we went up into London to come take the high, and then from London it went lower. So that was interesting. I just found that fascinating, and I missed it because I wasn't focusing on all three. So today I'm going to be focusing on all three. Yeah. I love it. Everyone's here. Thank you for telling me about the sound. I appreciate that. It's 11 minutes. So yeah, how was everyone's weekend? What did we all get up to? For the Americans, it was a long weekend, which is nice for them. Good morning, NHT. So today fits the profile of an extension that is going to pull back, just because of the news in Australia that's coming out with the bank. Now it's really interesting how it affects the markets, and you'll see at 9:30 on the dot there'll be some kind of an explosive candle. Now whether or not there's an opportunity to get in at that time, it all just depends, because they might just carry on like pulling it down. I'll do a little demonstration of it. So on AUD, what we might see is that, as you can see, they're pushing price down. It will continue, and then could go higher, low and high, low and high, low and high and low, and then eventually they'll have the one candle which either rips lower, which for some reason I don't think it is. I think that they are going to increase the interest rates, because I live in Australia, so I believe, because they're all saying, oh, they take it easy on the people and stuff. The banks don't care. The banks do not care. They all want to rip faces, and that's how it is. And then we're going to have the move that will come up to the opening gap. This liquidity right here, the previous day, okay, that will need to be seen too, because that is part of the public holiday. So again, the low and the high of the previous day, which is Monday, here's the low. And then we have the high of the day. So that day starts at midnight. There we go. That's the high. Okay. Both of these sides of liquidity are going to be seen too today. Same thing on GBP. We have the low, which is set down here. Sunday, Monday. So the high is over here. And we have our daily low over here. Public holiday shenanigans. They'll want to push price either down, up, and then down, or down and up, and then continue. Same thing in euro. What's interesting about this daily high is that it correlates beautifully with the weekly opening gap over here. And if you were curious about what that was, remember I put that in the charts on Friday. I said that that's a very, because of the perfectly square liquidity that's in there. We have price go down, it comes back up to that liquidity. Hong Kong gap fills it, comes down through the Hong Kong gap. Same thing, it bounces, does its consolidation, shoots up, it goes down from the other Hong Kong gap that's over here. You can see that. I'll just label it for you. G, and then makes its way down again. The next day on Friday, they come to that perfectly beautiful square of liquidity that we set out. And then Sunday continues on, makes a little move, and then continues to go lower for the day. Fascinating. Price is amazing. Good afternoon, Terry. Good afternoon. Nice to have you with us. Okay, now we have a break on GBP. GBP is actually starting to make a move higher. And Euro is not reciprocating the same thing yet. It's created a double low. What's the time? 44. This to me would be a move to the opening gap. Let me get that. So you can see here, this has not broken market structure yet for Euro, but GBP did break and has gone into the opening gap. Now all of this liquidity here, these are all equal highs up here. Zoom in. You can see all of that. That's all beautiful, equal highs. That's the target basically for that. So now this is indicated that it's moving. On GBP, AUD, is it moving as well? Has it broken? Yes, it has. We've taken that high, like I said. Beautiful. Beautiful. I would expect it to go a little bit higher though. This high over here. So whenever I look at these charts and I see like an equal high-ish, I expect it to go a little bit further than the one that's previous. But that could not be the case today. And it's not within my time zone. So in this circumstance, what I'm looking at now is I'm looking at, seeing as it has broken, we've gone up Okay, we've set this leg up. Now we've taken out this liquidity over here. And then we've taken out this liquidity over here. So what does that lead me to believe? That this is a breaker model. And we have perfectly square liquidity over here. I'd want to see this as my entry. Yeah, we actually have a trade today. It's great. So let's just come back to the entry. Yes, Nartology. If something can be done by multiple people, that's when you know. Now we're coming up to the trade time where we expect to see there's been an indication that it wants to go higher. Three minutes. Yeah, Euro's looking a bit confounded, while the other charts are showing clear indication that they want to rip higher. So today, this week is also very interesting. While we wait for that fair value gap, if it materializes, that's the thing. Sometimes you can have your direction and your entry, and I want it to come to a certain level, and guess what happens? It doesn't come back to that level, and I can't take my entry, even though I'm correct. That's what happens. That's just how it is. But again, we have our time. It's only going to start in a minute. What's DXY doing? Let's go have a look. DXY has created a beautiful. This is actually beautiful on DXY. I'd want that to come back and seen too. Over here to come back down. I've literally, so let me present my, I've literally got the trade already set up. As you can see, got my stop in, I've got this. I'm not in the trade yet, but I have my finger hovering over the buy button. If it goes to my level that I want, then it's actually the stop is not there. It's over here. A little bit of a pip. Just for that 1 pip spread. That's actually how I do it. This is already set up to 4, so if I drag that out to the side, you can see this already set up 2R, 4R. It's done for me automatically. I don't need to think about the calculations of the lot sizes. I don't need to stress about the lot sizes because it all comes up on the left here. It's done. We're in our trade time right now. Now again, there's been an indication. Now I'm looking at the other charts as well, and I'm thinking they've just taken highs. They are due for a pullback. So let me just present that chart again. Looking at the other charts, these highs over here have just been seen too. After any type of liquidity gets taken, doesn't matter what it is, okay, there'll be some kind of pullback, and then we're looking for our fair value gap to go higher. But because this opening gap has already been seen to on GU, it's a little bit confused. Here, these highs have been taken, and then we have a little bit of a pullback. Where's it going to come to? We have a low, a high, a low, a high, a high. So that is breaker. We have the uppermost part of this candle right here. In ICT's methodology, that is considered to be a breaker.
I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. Your check is I'm chess, what's happening next? You got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. You got a new engine from him, it's a blessing.
And we're in. Because fair value gap can see into. Have my lows. What my trade looks like. I'll show you now. And I'm targeting 4R. What price is that?
Somebody who could save him instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want to place. I want to be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stain from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be sour, take a cold shower, scream until you're louder, work until you're proud. the doubters, they're just downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were up top, they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
Because of what price is doing, I'm going to rig my stop to even tighter, because we let's see what price does here. See what it does from this breaker. Accept. How am I in emotions? I'm completely flat. I'm completely flat. I'm just analyzing, making sure that how do I put it? So obviously, you can't see. I'm actually let me present my trade screen. So I'm here, as you can see, it almost hit my stop. It was like so close. But now prices come up. I would like to see it in like a minute or two. Absolutely, it needs to rip through there, and then it'll continue to make its move. And yeah, I just sit here and wait. And if it's a loss, it's a loss. If it's a win, it's a win. The indication on the other charts, as you can see, it's ripped. AU is ripped as well, both of them. EU is sitting in a little bit of a tighter zone. Okay. And as I have 8.62 lots on the table, it's about $50 commission. So I mean $50 profit right now, but again, I'm waiting. Emotions are chilled. The market can do things, you know, as long as you are confident enough to actually just press the execute button when the opportunity presents. So we set it out in TradingView. So right now, do you see what's happening? Is that it like was frozen for a bit, right? The whole thing was frozen for a little bit. It means that there is some kind of something happening. When the market freezes like this, there's literally like no price movement. It's what's happening is the algorithm's deciding. See that price. It's like so fast. This is the entry, or not the entry, but it's setting up a perfect liquidity. So if you go into your 5-second chart, you will see that there's equals being set over there. Let's go into FTMO. I have my FTMO C trader. That's where I look at my 5 tick. See, AD, that there, that candle, how perfect was that? Came down, yes, it went down a little bit further, but then I'm expecting higher prices. Looking at this, perfect, perfect. It's gone lower and up. Yeah, price should continue. Again, I'm not worried. I'm not scared. I'm not anything. Put this away. As I said, I've done my analysis. I've done my research. I've done my back testing. I've done my forward testing. I've done everything that I need to. In a circumstance like this, where we are right now, I would, because it's broken over here, I'm not looking at this low being taken again until later. So I would pull my stop up to just below price. And I would want to see it continue. And if it stops me out, that's okay. And if it doesn't, that's okay as well. When I'm looking at the chart again, I'm looking at what's happening on the left here. We have a whole bunch of voids. This void was filled in. There's a void over there. But above this section over here, if you look at price, how perfect is this liquidity up here? That is completely square. Algorithm doesn't like squares. It really doesn't like squares. Oh. Trade was entered at 53. We've been 10 minutes in the trade so far. Another 10 minutes. Again, it's time-based. I don't just hold stuff forever. I want it to go, and if it starts retracing within a time period, within like between 10 to 30 minutes-ish, and if price hasn't reached my target yet, I pull out. And as you can see, I pulled my stop up, and that's for a reason, because price can be volatile sometimes and rip down. Now, I personally don't like staying in trades that are multi-directional, meaning it goes up and comes down and goes up and comes down. No, I want to be in the trade as it goes up. I want to exit at like the high, and then I want to bounce. Let's see what DXY is doing. That's how those are taken, coming down. We could have DXY retracing right here. If it goes past this point, I don't want to be holding. And inversely, that is over here. From here, I want to see it rip up. If it doesn't, because on Euro, the 5 tick is showing that this area over here, this perfect square of liquidity over here, the other charts, you see, they're responding how I want them to. They're ripping. The Euro isn't. Perfect liquidity. You want that to go higher. You want that to go higher. There's lots of highs still need to be taken. Now DXY is actually starting to come down, but Euro isn't. Like I said, that my stop is there. It's in place for a reason. I don't want to see it go further than that price. If it does, I'm out the trade. That's how cool it is. You just remain cool and collected. You have your analysis, you have your rules, you have what you have to do. The soul trader, I really like that. That's cool. That's a nice saying, man. See, AUD and GU, they are continuing to go higher. Whereas Euro has gone up and now it's coming back down. It's being a little bit sneaky. Again, the entry zone is almost done 2 minutes. And after that, 3 minutes after that, so in 5 minutes, I will manually exit the trade. If it's not going where I want it to go, just to keep my profits. Unless it stops me up before that. But being stopped out is fine. Doesn't bother me. Because guess what? There's always tomorrow. And then there's always the next day. And the day after that. Trading will always be there. The markets will always be there. Whether it's these pairs or different pairs, whatever happens. As you saw the other day, you can literally take your trades on almost any chart, any indice, anything. As you see, once I put my stop in place, it's there. Whether I get stopped, like now, or not, doesn't matter. It's done. Yes, I made a little bit of a loss. $70. Because of the commission of $60. That's okay. And that's it, it's done. So now looking at the charts, we see what they want to do. They'll probably want to go lower because, again, that's why I have that in place. Is I want to catch the bottom. I don't want to catch the maybe. So if I get stopped there, that's fine. Doesn't bother me. I'm not phased. That's showing me, because I wanted to come back so much, that we're possibly targeting these lows down here, which means that that's going to be in 20 minutes, and we'll see if there's a reversal on that. But again, because it was break even, I can keep my stop, my price as it is. I don't need to reduce it because it wasn't necessarily a loss. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll just present the other screen so we can see what's going on. This area here, like I said, it needs to come into this area, and it's coming. But how it does that is you might have a rip in and out immediately, which means that price will reflect the same thing, or should reflect the same thing on other charts. But Euro, if I held it, yes, I would be in profit. But I don't want to see it come back, as you can see here. This area over here, if it goes up here and continues, it most likely will continue going higher. So we're looking at the other charts. As you can see, this did not come back down. Continue just raging higher. Again, this is the discretion of how do you say it? Of trading the 3 pairs. Okay, that traded in and went to the opening gap, and then now it's coming down. So that was literally that trade right there. Not much. It's like a pip or two. Not enough range on AUD. As you can see, from here to here, it's like 3.8 pips. Not enough. Waiting for this to come up here. Because if we're looking at DXY analysis, that would be the fair value gap. The 5-minute perfect block, there's a breaker. So we have, this is up, it's down, and we have the lowest low and the highest high. That right there, that is a breaker of that candle right there. So once it comes into that breaker and breaks down, sorry, once it comes into the breaker and breaks down, I don't want to see price necessarily come back to the breaker. And if you look at order flow, where the leg continues, there's a fair value gap. What happens is price comes in, goes down, the fair value gap-ish, it's set. If this fair value gap is gone away from, we don't want to be in the trade. Goes down, past that low, we have this fair value gap over here. Again, price should not break that high. If it does, that's a change in structure. So see how it went specifically on GU for that 630 730 buy side liquidity, and then started consolidating. I can see this ripping lower actually. But again, this news coming out, it's going to be interesting. You're going to see, it's going to be wild. Tristan Hughes, targeting lower. I completely understand where you're coming from, because my weekly analysis leads me to believe that price is going to 1.08,000. So let me just whip out this chart over here. My weekly analysis on Euro is that price is going to come to this area here. It's actually 1.0977, which is close to the 1.8,000 level. Go on to 15 minutes, you'll see very clearly that yes, we're all the way up here now, but I believe that price is going to come down to this area here, This MMG was filled in, did its thing, went higher to the next MMG. Now what does it need to do? It does need to go lower. But whether it's like that again, it's like weekly analysis. So price goes down, all right, or price goes up. Now that can happen in whatever session it is, whether it's down or up. Your overall bias is short, yes, but in a session, the trade might present a long. So I'm actually just looking at this on the 1 minute, and you can see why I have these certain things in place that I do. These certain things that I have in place, okay, such as I move my stop up when price breaks over here to break even, is just because if price does want to go higher, I don't want to be in what I know is going to be a loss. And again, all this, sorry, all this stuff does take a little bit of experience to understand how market flow, how it works. So it's interesting. A lot of people don't understand market flow or order flow. Okay, order flow is where it basically starts creating starts creating a trend, like what people consider to be a trend, where it goes up and stuff in price. Now you don't necessarily want it to come back to that one area, because if it does, it means that your trade idea is invalidated. So as you can see right here, that because it came past this area right here, I was holding until it came to this area here, because if it comes past that area, I know that my trade is invalidated. And then look what price does. And I'm not going to take that as a loss. I'm not going to hold that and take a loss. No ways. I'm just going to get out. And that's literally how it works. As you can see, this breaker was not respected. Did respect it. It came down, and as soon as it crossed that point there and continued going higher, then the idea is invalid. $10 minutes. So looking at this now on Euro, what we are setting up is, let's look at previous liquidity. It's actually setting up a long. We've set a whole bunch of liquidity over here. It's taken that liquidity, but you don't know when it's going to turn. So you have to wait for a structure. And remember, there is news at 9:30 that's going to rip. Like literally, it's going to rip hard. So this right now is they're setting up, I call them liquidity points, but they're on both sides of the market. So you see this over here, that's like what people consider to be chop. The chop, it's not chop, it's precise things. They come in, they take liquidity, they set new liquidity, they set liquidity, and they keep on doing that the whole time. And they're building up a bank of liquidity so that they can take it, not raid it, but they can go explosively past it, and then they will make their move, or vice versa. can you talk about using the opening gap and HKG that as your bias? Yes, so the opening gap and the Hong Kong gap are very, very specific. Okay, the Hong Kong gap is the time that the Asian markets basically are closed. Yes, there is still trading going on, but the actual real money only they leave at 2:59 and they enter at 9:16, or the close of 9:15. That's why on my chart's 9:15. Oh, I haven't actually put that on my chart because I'm looking at my broker. So 9:15 over here, 15 close, 9:16 open. Okay, this is your Hong Kong gap. Now, all we're looking for with our Hong Kong gap, all we're looking for is for price will come to this gap sometime throughout the day if they want, but it has to. So when they're within the Hong Kong gap now, because that's settlement price for them, they have to push away and then come back, whether it's going on the sell side or it's going to the buy side. Reflected the day before, the Hong Kong gap was set on the Friday. It went down, came back through the Hong Kong gap up. Now we're looking at the times. So if it's outside of the if it's in the time zone that we want to trade, like for example over here in London, I actually took this on my personal account, but it came here and then went higher. As soon as it's up there, we hit New York. New York needs settlement, so then it comes back from that Hong Kong gap to today's Hong Kong gap. That's today's opening in Hong Kong. That's important. So then we have yesterday. We have this whole area here. This is your, like I said, I only use this green stuff to visualize it for you guys. But we have our opening, our weekly opening, and we have our Hong Kong. Now, during this time here, okay, it went down and continued doing its thing, came down. It wasn't a trade yesterday in the morning, although I did actually on my private take this to just take it a little bit higher. And then it came back down and stopped me out like today. Today at break even. Then it goes down, and at 3 o'clock, again, 3:15, we're looking at another trade opportunity to go to settlement price. As you can see over here, at around 3 o'clock ish, okay, in that area, it's set up. So on my personal yesterday, it went up here. There was a fair value gap. I took this, and it went straight to where I wanted it to go, and I was out. Now New York did not offer this balance, so it does need to go higher. It does need to come up. That's why I am looking for longs. My overall weekly bias is short, but I'm looking for longs because that has not been seen to. So again, we have opening today over here. We have Hong Kong over here. 6:30, buy side liquidity is resting just above here, and it would New York would need to offer this price. So leading to believe that in Asia or London, what they'll do is they'll bring it down below here, and they'll go up into and target this Hong Kong gap and the opening price, and that's where New York's going to start. And then they would make their move depending on the price in 5 minutes. So you see how we're in a range right now. It's not a range, but it's quite consolidated in this area. You can see that reflected on most of the other charts as well. They've set up liquidity on all different sides of the market. Again, this sell side has been taken. It's been taken. And we have big news coming out in 4 minutes. The euro is tight. Look how tight that is. That looks like a nice little square, doesn't it? Let me check the 5 tick. Make sure it's exact. From that little square, price will push away from it and then try and target it. That's not the one. Unless they give me more data, which we're waiting for. $255, 254, and 252. What I'm looking as a nice area of interest is 252 and 254, which is the top of this. That is important liquidity. That's going to be an important liquidity point for the rest of the day. There's also a void up there in the most recent leg down. So just over here, there's a slight void in price. Okay, on the five again, I can't go further. Can't go more in depth there, but again, all my analysis is leading towards buys. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the stuff. Good night. I'm drawing Hong Kong wrong or what? Nightology. How are you drawing the Hong Kong wrong? So I see how you draw the weekly opening gap. Okay, so the weekly opening gap is. Please can try looks on the 5 tick. I can't show the 5 tick on my computer because I actually use my phone to look at the 5 tick data. I don't know why. I find it easier. It's my personal thing. If I had the 5 tick open on like a big screen, I would have to have like another 6 monitors to be able to like view the whole of the 5 tick data. Yeah, this is looking like it's a nice square from 7.1 to 7.8. As you can see, price is beautiful within a nice little square over here. The 7.1, which is there, to 7.8. Let me make that a different color. Orange. How's orange sound? It sounds good. So these are your. Make that orange again. Orange. Whatever color that is. Now, because that's not been seen to, there's a void in that price right there. Okay. Nice little voidy void that it's dropped down from. Later on in the day, they'll come check this price. Or it might even be now. Let's see how it responds. Because it's minutes. I'm specifically looking at AU right now. This is a big candle. And want to see what they want to do with price. It's gone straight to the fair value gap after taking liquidity. come for that high. Now it's setting up. For what? That's the question. I'm not trusting any buyers right now because of what AU is doing. Look how it's ripping. Look at that. Look at that. Yes. There we go. Everything else is going to follow. What euro just ripped down? GBP is going to rip lower. We're going to the daily low. And now we've taken the daily low from the public holiday. And everything else is resisting. That leads me to believe that there's going to be buyers in the market soon. So what I mean by everything else is resisting is you see this massive price drop over here. GBP has not had a massive price drop at all. It means that there is SNT between them. This is going up. If it doesn't follow, it means that there's SNT. Now again, you'd have to wait for an entry. So I'm looking at AUD and euro right now. On this chart's AUD. On my other chart, I'm looking at the euro and the pound, and I'm seeing how they're responding to this. Because they will respond. There's a nice fair value gap on GBP. G is looking strong. Y is looking strong. We have the BOE coming out with their rates this week as well. The BOE is the Bank of England. Yep. So it's from that point. You see, it's continued to go lower. So then what we have is we have GU. It's continuing to go lower, and we have EU, which is already at a lower price point, but it's resisting here from that specific point of liquidity. Again, from these levels, what we want is price to go away, seek liquidity, and then come back to them. Whoa, it's a monster drop. So it means that they're not raising rates. Yeah, even news is saying it. Bank of England decision. The slippage on the EU trade was about 0.1 or 0.2. How's AU responding right now? Daily low was taken. AU might actually be a trade, but we have to see what it does as structure. Now there's no structure. The only structure break would be if it comes up and taps this. That means that structure's broken. No. That's large.
Check as I'm chess, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming his second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold an obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill no discretion.
That's
Your mind is a
broken.
weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him.
Yes. The RBA, because what they did, they're sneaky buggers. They make a mistake. They're like, oh no, we're not going to increase interest rates. And then the whole world increases interest rates. And then they're like, oh crap, we have to do our own cheeky, sneaky interest rate increases out of nowhere. 2 of them because they made a mistake. Yeah. It's really, really funny to see how the RBA are like sheep. They just follow what the rest of the world does. And it's because they have to keep the interest rates that's the most interesting thing about these markets, is that they have to keep most of them have to keep the same kind of interest rates to remain competitive in the market. Otherwise, yeah, that's why you'll find that all the prices like euro, pound, dollar, Australian dollar, everything against the American dollar drops at the same time, because it doesn't matter what their interest rates are, it just matters that they all get chopped at the same time. The euro is actually now setting up liquidity on both sides, and my belief is that it's going to go lower just because of the price that's happened on AUD. Even though AUD needs to come in and fill this big leg in, there's a price that you can't see it. So price on AUD needs to come and fill the rest of this leg. Okay, this price is unbalanced right now. There is a lapping gap over here. There's a lapping gap over here. So this price over here and price over here, that is unbalanced. Yeah. See, everything's just following. Follow. Because DXY does equal highs or a draw or a target. Whatever equal price that you see in charts, whenever you see equal things form, that later on is a target. Always. Now how you get into the trade depends on you and your specific entry criteria for it. Thank you. Appreciate it. So that breaker worked until there. Chopped. Now it's gone up. Time 9 minutes. See, price is pushed away. Now, I've known people that are literal monsters, and what they do is they see price like this, that's square, and as it breaks away, they'll literally take an entry because they know that price will eventually come back here because it's an important piece of price, and then they just wait it out without a stop loss. There's no ways I could ever do that. So yeah, these arrows, they worked out. See, price came down into that, and then from there it went up to there. You never know how it's gonna form. I would want this fair value gap, but because of that, it took the buy side, now it's gone for the sell side. Who knew that price is gonna go down? I wonder what told you. Didn't take the trade because it doesn't comply with my rules. But that's just the market. Daily, previous. So see, I keep these things on my chart for a reason. Again, I use the times. I don't necessarily use the labeling, apart from the opening gap labeling. This is where we also have this little daily over here. Okay, that was, no, not daily. All of last week, I wanted price to come here. That's where my analysis leads me, is to the buy side. What's nice about the markets and why I like it so much is because it is actually challenging. It's not like clear and cut. Price will weave and go to where it needs to go. So you know that price is going to go to these areas. You know that with the surety. Okay. The only thing is, how does it get there and where do you set your stop losses and stuff like that? And that's how you make money or not. Tapped into the 9 o'clock, it tapped into the daily and has gone away. So because my trade idea now was incorrect, we've pushed away from the square and watch what price does here. Look at the 5 minutes. 5 tick. $45. No, it's going to push a little bit further. Got 5 minutes. This is not the time. So the time, you see it's 46 right now. I'd expect it to go a little bit further. Again, we're pushing for the daily low has been taken. GBP, daily low has not been near seen to. Euro, daily low is almost there. Important pieces of price. Time. Let's see what's happening here. No, it's going to continue going lower. There's no shift. Made trading go well. I'm seeing what waiting feels like for the first time. Yeah, waiting is you just wait. If it doesn't adhere to your rules, you just don't do it. Otherwise, a lot of people don't understand that most of trading is you waiting. Time. You're just waiting, waiting, and waiting. And then if your rules pan out, then you enter, and if they don't, you don't. It's as simple as that. And you just wait. A lot of people will just go in and think, oh, when I look at the market, it has to obey me. It has to obey what I say. No, it doesn't. Doesn't need to do that at all. $120, $124. There's a void and a fair value gap. Good AU, just ripping. Oh, that's funny. GBP needs this. So when I see GBP and when I see square like this is square, pushes away, comes back to it, sets up another square, pushes away, comes back to it, sets up another square, pushes away, and then it's coming back to it. I said, don't be fooled into taking buys now, in my opinion. Again, I'm just a spectator that watches price. This is too perfect. You see this angle right here? If you're a trend line person, okay, that is too perfect. So it's gonna want to rip. You can see it here. It's way too perfect. It's perfect, 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 perfect. People are taking buys off there for some reason, and then it rips. One. Thanks, right? So much calmer. I don't know. I'm not one of those people that will like scream, jump up and down, and if you do that, what I feel is that you're not in control of yourself while you're out there trading. The markets are brutal. They don't. It's the time now. They don't offer you anything to be excited about. You know, this is about making money. It's not about gambling. And if you're jumping up and down for joy, then you know that you just gambled because you won and you didn't expect it. Oh, where are we going? Did not think so. So this line that I drew over here, what you can see, what do you see? That's the question. For me, I look to the side. See that number there? 6800. That's perfect. Now that was drawn not using that number. That line was drawn using a projection of 3. Okay, so the distance from this high to that low multiplied 3 times. Sorry, not that high. This high. Then 3 should put you somewhere around this line. What that'll do is that will give you, it's a good way to project what's going to go on. And then you can correlate that with previous, what's in the market previously. Here we go. Oh, that correlates. Yeah, it's funny. Isn't it funny? Watch how price responds on GBP from this level. Like watch how, like this little ticker here, as it goes up and down, you see, watch how it responds. It'll go back in and keep on like bouncing like this. Okay, now, there's only 2 things that can happen after an expansion. So you have a 50-50 chance. Either it reverses, or you have consolidation, which means that you have a mini reversal, which has to go up to then come down. So those can be traded, just like how you would trade a reversal. So again, with the reversal, what you're doing here, as price expands, you have to wait for it to, so it expands, okay, you have to wait for it to break structure. From that break of structure, you look for fair value gap, and you take your trade. Even though you know that price does not come under this past these points, okay, that can be a trade. Now, whether you do it, so for example, here's an expansion into a consolidation. We have an expansion, and this whole area here, that is consolidation, but it does the same thing. It does create a fair value gap, which can be traded. Even though it doesn't go all the way to the other side of the range, you can still make money. Well, I consider myself a consolidation specialist. Yeah, this is good. That's what I would expect. Which would put you perfectly, it would put you perfectly at that consolidation. Go to 4R over here, puts you at the Hong Kong gap. Over here, that's like a 3R. Let's see what price wants to do. Where's AU? It's so close. GU has come in there. See the reaction. It shocks, doesn't it? See, it came in to the fair value gap. See the void? Didn't spot that. He was perfect, absolutely perfect, but see what DXY wants to do, because DXY hasn't broken structure yet. How do we look at structure? The blue candles are on the buy side, are structure. The red candles are structure on the sell side. So here's an example. Price goes up, 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 up. You can literally look at anything in price, even if it's whatever it is. This blue candle here gets broken. That's structure. That's structure broken, not the red one, the blue one. Then it goes to an interesting level where it pulls back and then continues going. Same thing over here. The red candles are structure. So if they're continuous red candles, you're looking at that point as your structure. Breaks up, comes down, pulls back into that fair value gap and goes higher. And yes, Euro has broken structure. But GU has not broken structure and AU has broken structure, so we have two. You might be thinking, well, how has EU broken structure? If you again, because I'm looking at the 5 tick, right? Structure is the same on everything. So this section of price right here, this candle right there, the blue one, that got broken, then fair value gap, and the price is gonna go from a time that it should go. Fast answer. I just answered that. So what do you consider a breaker structure? And what I consider a breaker structure depends on the time frame that you're on. So I could, for example, go into my chart over here. And instead of being on the 1 minute, I could go onto the 1 day. And be looking at it. And be like, well, have we broken structure? No. So then we go down. We go down. Have we broken structure? On the downside. Yes. So what does price need to do? It needs to go up. The new candle just started at 10. So there needs to be some kind of fill for that. There needs to be some kind of fill into this candle. Otherwise, if it continues going down, that again is a target for later on. This price needs to balance. These wicks over here, they're all balancing. Just label this. I forgot to label it. Wait. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. These little things again. The moves aren't gonna. So on the 5 tick chart, the moves on the 5 tick will look humongous, but on the 1 minute chart, it's literally just this. This is literally it. It's from like, even down here. Where is it? There. What price is that? 9122. 9122. That was a breaker structure over here. Yeah. That was a breaker structure on the 5 tick. It pulled back and then it went higher. And then corresponding on the 1 minute, we've set square liquidity on top here as well. Let's see what price does here. So the last little whip of that candle, it went into that square liquidity. And there's a range. There's a range now. If price breaks this candle here, it will continue to go lower. Yep. You can see the same thing is happening there, and the same thing is happening there. Again, we're targeting the daily. Daily lows targeted here. Now we've gone into the previous Hong Kong gap. This is where I would expect a move from. And still within the time. So it'll be a move. And now you do. This is actually possibly going to be a move. Yeah. I don't want to go to work cuz my boss is a jerk and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life cuz I don't feel alive and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute. I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm just keeping a cheeky eye on what AUD is doing. That was nice. That's a nice fair value gap actually. This is a little bit more dirty. It's not clean. GU is clean. Damn, that's really clean. But I'm not expecting prices to go up. Again, this is theoretical. Because AUD is continuing to drag lower, it's now on the daily. We have 8,000, which has just hit that line that I put on before that I deleted. Just gone through that, and then now let's see what happens. Don't worry, I'll tell you if I'm getting into a trade. This type of stuff that I put on the chart, this is again, it's theoretical of what my expectation would be. But again, it's not within my time window. My time window was there, not here. And it did work, but it came back and stopped me out for break even. This is an interesting section of price. Let's see.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign.
I don't like the as I've said before on my streams, I don't necessarily like the Japanese pairs. I don't find they're a high spread. And unless you're trading the 5 to 15 minutes, maybe an hourly, like then you can get some decent setups and stuff. So then now, fair value gaps filled. That was a point. Watch. There we go.
There's no mercy in this world, just hunger thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different
Euro made a lower low, GBP didn't.
disturbance. Do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor.
What does that show you?
I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you. Just go get your own tissue.
That DXY is about to come down and say hello.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to
What's on? 10:10.
go get off the grid. Feel like my brain is overloaded, man. I'm losing it. Don't let them tell you what to do, man. They don't know shit.
I'm expecting you to go lower. Come on. You know you are. What do we have here? We have a favorite app. Ne. GVP is playing out beautifully. And we have a break. This is the beginning. Euro hasn't reciprocated the same move yet. Zoom into that. Okay, perfect. One tick. Filled. Not yet. Not yet. Build. Like I said, G was perfect. It was so clean. Oh, I love it. I love clean price. Who doesn't? That. For a gold trader, you know price is going to drop soon. Oh, we're at the daily yet? No, here's the daily.
That I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good. Fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts. I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong. I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. So I'm just actually observing what price is doing right now, because that big news that was in on AUD. Sorry, good question. Are you still hunting? I'm not necessarily hunting. I'm just observing what price is doing and how it's responding. So all of these other little price points that are being set right now, they will be utilized. Now, this week, I'm expecting like 120, between 100 to 120 pips of range. It's quite a large range for this week, which is nice. Just to balance the rest of price out, because it hasn't quite done that. It's like all of these levels that you can see are being set in price right now.
they're very, very interesting, all of these ones. Yeah, because they are possibilities. Meaning, if price doesn't reach them during Asia, I then expect London to come and fill them in. Oh, look what's happening. I love it. I love price. It's fascinating. It fascinates me every single time. Something just so mesmerizing about it. The way that it moves, the way that things happen. But yeah, if you've enjoyed watching the stream today, then definitely give it a like or a thumbs up or whatever you feel like doing. If you feel like you've gained any kind of value from today and how we were reading price together, then yeah. See that square? As I said, price pushes away, creates liquidity, and then goes towards it. So this is how you can trade if you're not necessarily trading within a time frame, a time like a zone or whatever time window. Okay, you can literally use these points in price where there's perfect liquidity, and it will target. It has to target, because that's the setup. Basically, if you look at ICT and its 2022 model, then that's literally what he does. Is you have price do this, seeks liquidity, and then comes back. So yes, other people would see this as a fair value gap, and that would be correct. That is a fair value gap. But it's seeking more than just fair value. It's seeking that perfection in price. So let's look on the 5 tick. The move started at 9115 over here, leaving behind perfect lows. So that's how that's literally the market works, as in it goes up, it comes down, it sets liquidity, goes up, and then it reaches for some kind of equalness in price. It's like right now, that is the fair value gap to go higher, and price will work all the time. It'll just carry on bouncing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No worries at all. No worries at all. It's nice to see how price responds and what it does and how it moves and all the little things that happen. Because looking at this, again, like if you become really good at reading price and reading all of these little things within price, then you'll be able to take trades from any level that you desire or require, or whatever you need in your life, whatever time window that you're in. You're then looking for a very specific thing. So here we look at GBP. The FVG is clearly identified, but there was no, like, the only break was here at the beginning, and then went up, came down, went into it after that specific level that I spoke about, very, very specific, and then it hit that, bounced, created a fair value gap, and now it's seeking. I wouldn't say it's seeking the opposing side, but it might, because it is equal price here. There's the top of here has not been balanced yet, so that needs to be seen to on the buy side. Then we have AUD come straight into the previous, that perfect level that we said, opening gap, bang, goes into that after the daily low. You have your first fair value gap, and there's a whole bunch of equal price up here that it's going to start drawing towards. Now, drawing towards doesn't necessarily mean it's a full trade. It means that it's possible. It comes into that fair value. Let's go 1 minute. It actually came into that fair value gap beautifully and respected it, and then went up, or is going up. EU, it's interesting because it created this beautiful square liquidity, snapped it, went further. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then we have price drawing to the buy side. I like using threes a lot in my analysis, in my trading. Oh, are we seeking that square? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And you see how price responds to it? It's fascinating, isn't it? These little small moves, you can literally make a career, like a whole trading career, based on these little small moves. So price broke those equal highs, fair value gap, buy, stops under here. And we know that price is seeking the squareness. So, yeah. And that's it. That would literally be my move for the day, and I'm done. So let's go back. No, not that one. Present, share screen. So again, we had our stop loss, we had our range. I only wanted to ever risk no more than $500 in all the trades. Okay. Then we go into, let's go into what's account history. Where are we in price? Let's go look at Garden Protector. Can I zoom into this? So this is where we are right now. With a little bit of a gain on the account. That's okay. Consistency. Rocking up the charts every day. Doing your thing. And you make money. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just has to be consistent. Over time, like yes, it's only a 0.2%, but over time, such as a month, 2 months, 3 months, it increases to 5%, 6%, 9%, 10%, 12%, and you just start improving. The aim is to not lose, the aim is to protect your capital, to not lose money. So again, that's why I actually really like what Blue Guardian has done here with their Guardian Protector. Because there are traders, and I know I've done it before as well, where I have pulled my stop out. I pulled it out, and then because I'm so confident that my trade is going to work, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to lose. It's going to happen. This is going to work, and I do that, and eventually my psychological level gets like hammered, and you can easily lose 3 to 4% in one trade by making missteps, like pulling your stops out and stuff. Now with this, what it does is it removes that emotional criteria, that emotional window of your humanity, because no one likes to lose. No one ever wants to lose. I'm being quite honest here. No one likes losing, okay? And then you want to fight back against it because you want to be good, you want to win, you want to be something. Now what this does is that it literally says, well, your idea is wrong, and you cannot go further than that, period. End of story. And so it removes that aspect of, well, if I lose, I lose, because my trading idea was obviously incorrect. And then all you do is you set up and you wait for the next day. Don't have to waste your time on all this other nonsense when you can just stop and continue on the next day. Okay, so thank you so much for following along in today's. We were reading a price, doing all these things. I just want to show you quickly. Present, share, window. No. What's going on here? You. I want you. Why aren't you popping up? There we go. So you can see we're price targeted. Straight to that Hong Kong gap. AUD went up. It's got a long way to go to the Hong Kong gap because of the news. So that now gives you an opportunity to be able to, whether it's London and stuff like that, to be able to enter and go into the trade. See what happened here? Touch that void that we marked out beautifully, and then once it broke structure, it just continued to bang. Again, a lot of people have this version of structure that's interesting, and that's why I look at the 5-tick chart, because the 5-tick chart is showing me exactly where structure is on the 1 minute. So I can identify, or you can identify where structure is. As soon as this is done, bang, it's broken, because that candle there, that structure is broken. It comes up for a little bit and then goes, bang, I'm going to break you out. Then what it does is it comes up. This structure here, so on the bar, you're looking blue, it's changed ever so slightly. So then what does that indicate? Well, we have price. We have from here, we have a lower low, a higher high, and then it breaks lower. Same thing over here. We have this price over here. We have a lower low. Sorry, from here, we're higher high, then has a lower low, and then it comes back into that breaker range to go lower. Price over here, we have, it breaks lower, goes higher, comes back into your breaker to go up. Same thing over here. We have this, which is very square. It goes higher, it then breaks lower, it comes back and shifts. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I hope you all have a lovely day. And I'll be here tomorrow, same time, same place. And we'll continue on with this journey together. Peak. Oh, the void. What the void on which chart? So on the 5-tick chart, it's very clear. What all you need to do if you want the 5-tick chart is you can create a C trader account, and you can create a free account, and you can just watch the market. You don't need to actually trade it, but you can just watch it, and it tracks the data, and then you can see all the different little things that happen in price. So the void that I'm looking at is from 259 to 250, 9259 on euro to 9250. So if I was looking at that on euro, oh, what did I just do? I just opened a whole nother chart. My bad. Okay, so 259, which is over here, okay, to 250, which is over here. Okay, that little price in there, yes, that got filled beautifully, that fair value gap, but it's left a void in that same price, 259 over here, down to 250. I have this marked out because it's the probable level. Voids, again, they can either be used as entries or targets. I use them as targets. So I see something like that. Yes, you can't see it on TradingView because TradingView just doesn't offer you the same data. Okay, but they are targets. Dailies. Opening gap is targets. Goes below the daily, guess what? Comes back. We have the Hong Kong gap set up. It's gone below the Hong Kong gap at a time. Like I said, you're looking at the 50s to 10s because the wicks need to be created on hourly candles, on 15-minute candles, on hourly candles, on 4-hour candles. The wick needs to be created. So if the new candle starts, you might have price go down and then come up, or you might have price go straight up and then come down. That little piece of price at the top there, that will be a void. So if it goes down, it's seeking more liquidity to push it higher to get to that void, and vice versa, of course. So I use these things as targets all the time. Amir Rudin, I'm listening to, it's actually the free YouTube library from YouTube. So because I'm streaming on, this is not my channel, it's Trading Nuts channel. So definitely go and subscribe to him if you haven't already. Give this video a like if you haven't already. And what that does is because it's not my channel, I can't stream with my music. I have to stream with like copyright free music in a way. So that's why I put it on. It's also it's nice to, how do I put it? It gets boring if you just sit there and you watch someone watch a chart. It's like watching someone watch wash dishes. It's quite boring. You don't want to do that. Okay, so have a lovely day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care, and again, be safe in the markets. Use your discretion. Make sure you're checking things out. Make sure that you're solid, your plan is solid, and you obey your rules. Okay, bye everyone. Thank you so much for joining in.